Hello, we'll be looking at the audiolingual method this week. Grammar translation and the direct method were popular until World War II. The audiolingual method was developed in the U.S. during World War II. Why do you think that was? Listen and let's find out. Audiolingual method is the first scientific method since it has roots in both psychology and linguistics. Audiolingual methodology owes its existence to the behaviorist models of learning using stimulus response reinforcement model. It attempted through a continuous process of such positive reinforcement to develop good habits in language learners. Let's look at an overview of the audiolingual method. The outbreak of World War II heightened the need for Americans to become orally proficient in the languages of their allies and their enemies alike. To this end, bits and pieces of the direct method were used in order to form and support this new method. The Army method, which it came to be known in the 1950s, and then was named the audiolingual method. Just as if you think of the Army, there are a lot of drills and repetition. Rules and grammar are grasped through examples and drills. Let's look at the principles of the audiolingual method. Little or no grammatical explanations are provided. Grammar is taught inductively. Teaching points are determined by contrastive analysis between the first language and the second language. Great importance is given to precise native-like pronunciation. Habit-forming drills have remained popular among teachers and students, and teachers who feel confident with the linguistic restriction of such procedures. Based on the principle that language learning is habit formation, the method fosters dependence on mimicking, memorization of phrases, and over-learning. Successful responses are reinforced. Great care is taken to prevent learner errors. And of course, we know that the Army needed personnel to be able to communicate with others. Think about behavioralism: stimulus, response, and reinforcement. Pattern practice leads to overlearning of a desired verbal behavior, or habit formation. A sentence which includes several slots and each slot needs a special part of speech is many times used. For example, John is satisfied with the blank. We know that a noun is needed after a preposition. Another example is in the sentence, John is satisfied with the blank concert. We know that an adjective comes before the noun. In that way, overlearning occurs and a habit is formed to put an adjective before the noun, for example. Language is a system of forms, from smaller units such as sounds to bigger units such as sentences. Language can be learned by mastering the building blocks or elements of the form system. Structures are sequenced and taught one at a time. Structural patterns are taught using repetitive drills. Vocabulary is strictly limited and learned in context. The natural order is adopted for second language acquisition. In the audiolingual method, acquisition is preferred to learning. The former is implicit. Skills are sequenced. Listening, speaking, reading, and writing are developed in that order. And use of the mother tongue by the teacher is permitted, but discouraged among the students. In the next two slides, we'll show some commonly used techniques when using the audiolingual method. While you're reading through the slides, here are some teaching tips provided by the audiolinguist. Drills should be conducted as rapidly as possible to ensure automaticity and to establish a system. Use of shortcuts to keep the pace of drills at a maximum. Use hand motions, signal cards, notes, etc. to cue response. Drill material should, if at all possible, be meaningful. If the content words are not known, teach their meanings. Intersperse short periods of drill, about 10 minutes, with very brief alternative activities to avoid fatigue and boredom. Ignore all but gross errors of pronunciation when drilling for grammar practice. The teacher must be careful to ensure that all the utterances which students will make are actually within the practice pattern. And finally, just like any good teacher, don't stand in one place. Move around the room, standing next to as many different students as possible to check their production. Thus, you will know who to give more practice to during individual drill time. Thank you for listening to this short presentation. I hope you have a better understanding of the audiolingual method. Please read the chapter in your text to find out more about it. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Have a great week.